Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is inspired by a look that I did a few months ago back on Instagram. This is the look right here. I just decided to recreate it because some of you were asking me to, so why not? But it is also dedicated to those who said that the Princesa Azteca palette was not pigmented at all. I mean, take a look at this. Bitch wear, right? But I hope you guys are able to follow along and let's get started. So the first thing I always do is I prime my eyelid with some concealer, and this one's the Moira Cosmetics Mega Waterproof Concealer. I know in all my videos I pretty much use this one because it's similar to the Tarte Shape Tape. It's full coverage, and the reason why I put it on my eyelid before I apply eyeshadow is because it's going to give me a nice even surface to work with. Next, with this brush from Lamora Beauty, which is another brush company that I love to use, I'm going to be picking this one up and picking up a little bit of that hot pink shade from the palette. And I will list the names down below, the ones that I use, you guys. They're kind of hard to pronounce, so forgive me for that. Now I always take a little bit at a time. I don't want to take too much because then it might be hard to blend out. So I'm just going to take some and dab it on the inner corner and then just slowly blend it upwards. Now notice I always use a light hand when doing this, and I'm just going to do small circular motions and blend towards the middle part of my eye. Now picking up a little bit more of that same product, I'm just going to do the same thing and dab it on top of that first layer that we did, and then just blend it towards the center of my eyelid. And I'm going to stop about here for now. Don't worry about blending it out too much just yet. I always like to go back in the end and just clean up any of the harsh lines that I left. Next, I will be taking this blending brush by GLF Cosmetics and a little bit of that yellow shade, and I'm going to create this orange shade. So I'm going to apply it directly on top of the pink and then just slowly blend it to the edge of my eye as well as a little bit upwards. And just remember to always use a light hand when doing this and use small strokes. Next, I'll be taking this all over shader brush by Lamora Beauty in 111, and I'm going to be taking just a hint of that red shade, and I'm going to apply that directly on top of where we created this orange, and just take a little bit at a time, you guys, because it's very pigmented. So here, like I said, I'm just taking small amounts at a time, and I'm just using like a dabbing motion to place it on top of that shade and then just sort of blending it towards the center. Next, taking another brush from the GLF Cosmetics bundle, I'm going to be taking that green blue shade from the palette, and I'm just going to use dabbing motions to apply this at the end. And I don't want to do it too harsh because I don't want it to look patchy either, or I don't want it to be hard to blend out. So just take a little bit of the product at a time and just very gently blend upwards. So here I'm applying a little bit more pressure to get that pigment to really stand out, and notice that it is on the bottom because we want that gradient effect to be on the top. Now here I'm just taking a little bit more of the yellow and then just blending those two together. Next, I will be taking this very tiny Sigma E36 blending brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that lime green shade, and I'm going to apply that on top of that darker green just to give it a little bit more green gradient, I guess you can say. So just be patient, you guys. I know blending can be tedious, but it is necessary if you want that beautiful, flawless blend. I'm going to take a little bit more of that yellow and then just blend it together. Next, with the smaller blending brush by GLF Cosmetics, I'm going to be picking up just a slight amount of that second red shade in the palette, and I'm just going to apply this in the area where that orange is, and I'm just going to blend back and forth. I'm going to really clean up this area now. And with no additional product on this brush, I'm just going to buff out the harsh edges of this pink. And here I'm just taking a little bit more yellow, and you guys know the drill. Small circular motions, just make sure everything is clean and nice and pretty. Next, taking a small flat brush and some concealer, you guys, I'm going to start to cut my crease. And what I like to do, take a little bit at a time, and I always start by first covering the lid areas, the lid space, and I always drag it downwards. Now just remember to take small amounts at a time. You don't want it to be too much, and then it'll just mess up your whole thing and transfer over. But notice I kind of looked up, and it gives me like a starting point, a guideline, I guess you can say. And I know it's not going to work for everybody because we all have different eye shapes. So when you get here, I'm just going to wing it out like so and drag the excess concealer down. Now there's another way to do this. You can also take a makeup remover and draw your cut crease out first, which is a little bit cleaner, but I'm just going to skip it and I'm going to do it this way. Reason being is because this is a full coverage concealer. I know if some of the lighter concealers are not going to work, it's just going to get muddied with color, so you might want to use the other technique, which I can show you in another video later on. And you can shape your cut crease as high or as low as you want. I'm just going to take it a little bit parallel to my actual crease line. I'm not going to take it too high up, but it's all up to you. Next, I'll be taking this small e.l.f. concealer brush, and I use this to really clean up the line and make it nice and precise. And as you notice, this brush is already flat from me using it so many times, but I guarantee you guys it makes a huge difference, and it just really gives me that sharp cut crease that I want. Next, I'm just smoothing out the excess concealer so that I have a nice smooth base for my eyeshadow. Next, I'll be taking this small flat brush by Morphe. There's no number because it was one of those bundles I bought a long time ago. I'm going to take some of that matte yellow and I'm going to apply that on the first third of my lid. And I like to just apply it with pat motions, just patting it onto the concealer itself. Next, I'll be taking some green on that same brush. I just kind of wipe it off on the towel, and I'll show you in a second. And I'm just going to pat that on right next to the yellow shade. So I'm just going to dab it, the same technique that I did that yellow. And I'm not going to take it all the way down, guys. You notice that there's a space that I left here, and this is because I'm going to apply liner anyway. Now I will be applying this beautiful teal shimmer at the edge. And I know I haven't gone all the way up to the cut crease yet. I always like to perfect my looks at the end. So don't worry, we're going to fill everything out and make it nice and precise. Now I wanted sort of a deeper blue at the end, but there isn't one in the palette. So this one is just by another palette that I'm working on, you guys. And if you guys want to add this shade, then a shade similar to this, then you can. But if not, then just go ahead and skip it. And please excuse all the background noise, you guys. That is my daughter. She's actually playing with her toys, of course, right when I'm trying to record. But it's all good. I'll get this done. Now picking up a little bit more of that teal, I'm just going to blend these two shades together. Now here I'm just really taking more of that green and I'm just going to pack it on and then fill in any of those gaps at the top. So now I'm just wiping off some of that excess fallout with a towel. You can use a makeup remover wipe or whatever you want, you guys. And then let's continue this look. Now taking a liner brush and some concealer, I'm going to be using this one by Color Noir. And I'm going to apply the concealer as I would eyeliner. Next, I will be taking a small e.l.f. concealer brush and then I'm going to dip into that hot pink shade and I'm just going to dab that directly on top of the concealer and just pack that baby on. Now I'm going to take it to about right here, and when I get to this point I'm going to use that purple in the palette. But this concealer has kind of dried due to the fallout, so it's kind of hard to apply. And so I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper purple from another palette and I'm just going to apply that as I would and finish off that liner. Now cleaning off the excess with a makeup remover wipe. Actually, this is a baby wipe, I lied. And now here, I'm just going to take a little bit more of that pink and just blend these two shades together. Now to really get that crisp, clean line, I'm going to clean it up with some concealer. And in the beginning, you guys, if you wanted to, you could have actually just used tape. But I totally forgot about that method. But it's okay because we can just do it this way. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to be applying that pink shade again, closest to my waterline, about the first half. Next, I will be blending in some yellow. And for the last portion, I'll be taking some of that deep green. And in case you were wondering how I keep using the same brush, I just sort of wipe it on a towel, a quick little cleanse, just so that I can get a look done, you guys. And of course, yes, I wash my brushes on the normal, but this is just a quick, easy way that I do it. So I sort of like to smoke out my lower lash line when doing colorful looks, and I'm just going to blend this out with some yellow. Now here, I'm just adding a little bit of the finishing touches. Next, all I'm going to do is curl my lashes and apply mascara. Now for lashes today, I'm going to be using the ones by Luxie Lash in the style Homegirl. And yes, I know I did add a contact in. It's just for the video. Please save your criticism. I know you're not supposed to put contacts after makeup, but I won't leave it in long, I promise. So this completes the look, you guys. What do you guys think? How did I do? Did I succeed at recreating my own look? Just let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you're able to follow along with this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.